What's going on there, gentlemen? Man, I've just been blown away by this last week. You know, I remember the first election that I can remember was George Bush in 2000, and I remember 9/11 clear as day. I was going into first period in middle school. Um, that's probably when Obama got elected, and this last week, I think are the most united that I have ever seen Americans. Um, and apart from Obama, like I don't know if I've ever experienced a first week of a presidential term that was this intense and this, I think, awe-inspiring. Just what a. I mean, he's really. Trump is really. He's really setting the agenda for the world. I can't tell you how many. Uh, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, like from Brussels, from all kinds of places all over the world. Every single talking head I've seen on from the UK, they're just gushing like, man, if we could have that over here. Like, I even seen an Irish guy who he said they were in Brussels. Him and this English guy. He had dual citizenship, Ireland and America, and he was like, man, this makes me feel so spectacular about. And he had an Irish accent, so I think he grew up there. But something I noticed too is he was talking about a good point that I thought he made was that with Trump setting the agenda the way he is, and him unleashing drill baby drill and unleashing American potential, and I think what Trump is doing is quite genius. Over the years, I think our politicians and elites have been suppressing our economy for their own benefit, kind of like suppressing it and then reaping all the benefits that would go to us, but lying, something like that. And, like, this just shows you that at any time they could just open up the floodgates and we could be living good. We could be living good. And they, I don't know what they've been doing for years. It just seems like they're just like, take the money and run or something. They're not concerned about the goose that lays the golden egg. They're just worried about the golden egg at the moment. All these older presidents, and really, I mean, not Bush. It wasn't so bad, but he had his tax cuts and stuff. But Obama, he just totally changed everything. And it's like, we've been living under tyranny since. And ever since he won, it was just, I was biting my nails until he took office. And then once he took office, I was relieved, finally, like, and then everything that's happened in LA, that terrible mess, which, honestly, things happen, and he's right about the FEMA, that, I do line clearance work, and I did, during COVID, I did a couple hurricane runs. I did two to Louisiana and one to Pensacola. I did 5 weeks straight, 7 days a week, 16-hour days for 5 weeks. I only had 8 hours of sleep a day for 5 weeks. No days off, just go, go, go. But, and what Trump said, it should be up to the states, and that, how the other states, they help each other. That is exactly right. That is exactly right, gentlemen. When Louisiana's in trouble, I live in Orlando. We packed our happy asses, a crew from every single regional facility of Asplund, Lewis, Burford, Davie. I mean, all sorts of international arboriculture companies and national ones, and they descend because that's where you know, we live in a capitalist society, and these companies they want to make that extra buck, and they got guys that are ready to work, ready to make that extra buck. I made a lot of extra money in them 5 weeks. That was like 4 months worth of work, worth of pay. That was a big deal to me, and to everybody else as well. But like the Southeast is kind of like a net. When a hurricane hits, it doesn't matter where it hits. The cavalry will be coming directly. It really doesn't matter where it hits. If it hits in Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina, Mississippi, Louisiana, everybody, they're going to send all their boys. They're going to send Pike Electric. They're going to, the linemen. They're going to send Davy. They're going to send all the tree companies, and they are going to kick ass, and they're going to take names because they're making money. And yes, FEMA does pay for it, but all they're doing is cutting a check. They're just cutting a check. And really, the states do take advantage of it as well. When there's a national emergency or there's a state of emergency, they had us doing maintenance work because they had been slacking in Louisiana. They hadn't done any maintenance work for 10 years. We're here in Florida, that's updated yearly. They hadn't done it since Katrina. So, and they were cashing in, we got national, it's an emergency. We get to charge the federal government. So, they were having us doing maintenance work, but he's absolutely right on that. He is dead right. FEMA needs to be reformed. I mean, they treated us fantastically, and really, they just outsource it. The hurricane hit, they hire a company called Storm Services. This company pitches tents, food tents, porta-johns, shower trailers, bunk trailers, 18-wheelers, and they and these people procure the food and everything, so they kind of just write checks. So, but the people that are actually doing the work are other southeastern states, and I'm sure it's the same way. Like we went to New York as well. Or New Jersey, excuse me. They had a blizzard, and we went up there, and that's really good money because you get paid union money. When you go up north, you get paid stupid money compared to what we get paid down here. But and they have to by law, they have to pay you. But it's I would imagine it's like that in other regions where they're dealing with regional catastrophes. Because with a hurricane, it's like, who's going to draw the lot? I mean, a state knows they're going to get the licks, and maybe a couple states, but one state knows they're going to get the licks. They're going to get the brunt of it, and everybody just prepares for the worst, and when it happens, they come to they save each other. They pull each other's irons out. The states, the southeastern states, they watch each other's back, and it's a lovely thing. Texas as well. Texas is in that as well. And and I love doing it. The people were great. They were so thankful for us being there. People would come up with food, groceries. It was incredible, man. It really was, and they fed us really well. Yeah, it was a good time. I enjoyed it, but this week has just been breakneck speed, and I feel like Trump. It reminds me of those movies about Bobby Fischer, where you would see desks with chessboards all in a row, and each one would have a contender, and Bobby Fischer would just be walking by, making a move, and he would just continue on with his hand on his chin. That's what I feel like Trump is doing around the world. He's like, your move. He's just going from one country to the next because, we've played this part in the world where everything was so lopsided after World War II, and we took on the burden because we could. We were the only country left standing. Europe was in frickin' rubble. Japan was in rubble, China was in turmoil. Things weren't doing good. So we took on the burden, did a lot of loans, but it was supposed to be temporary and it wasn't. And they've just been content to let it run along. And Trump's the first one that's like, no, 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 no. It's like he spots the weaknesses from the jump or something because, the way he's got the whip hand and he knows it. Whether people want to admit it or not, America has the biggest economy in the world. If you don't have access to the American market, you aren't in business. You can't be in business. The Chinese market's a big deal, but the American market, you cannot be in business and not deal with the American market. We gobble up so much in this country, it is ridiculous. And anytime anybody wants to, all he has to do is pull that whip out, like he did with Colombia. You want to mess around because I will slap your ass. You won't do business. It's like back in the day, in old southern towns. It reminds me of this movie, The Long Hot Summer, with Paul Newman and Orson Welles, where the Big Daddy character of the town, he runs the town. He owns the cotton gin. He owns the bank. He owns he owns the general store. When you do business, you're doing business with Big Daddy because he owns it all, baby. He's worked his way up top, and he owns everything. It all belongs to him, and that's where we're at right now. It's like, if you want to do business, you got to do business with us first. It's like that we're the premier market. Our economy is almost twice as big as Europe's now. It's at parity with China, which is way more people. So it's and we produce a lot. We buy high-end goods. We buy low-end goods. We buy fruits and vegetables, and all Trump has to do is say, when it comes down to it, are these couple of airplanes full of illegal immigrants worth you not doing business with us? Because we'll crash your economy into the ground. And they change tune immediately. And it's the same with every other country. And the reason why they're folding is they know they've been screwing us. They know they've been screwing us for years. We know they've been screwing us for years. We've let it happen. They haven't been paying for the defense. They've been getting a free ride off of our defense umbrella. They've all been getting a free ride. Trump is calling the tab. He's calling. He's calling. He's making the call on the debt, on the debit. Okay, you guys owe. It's time to pay up. It's time to pony up. Put your money where your mouth is. Because we aren't in the situation where we can just be paying. We really aren't. We're all overextended. It's like, we need help, and you guys, other countries got to pull their fair share. I feel like because every other country has been suppressing, just like us, have been suppressing our economies, all of a sudden Trump's going to turn the floodgates open, and we're just going to leave everybody in the dust. And if they want to continue to exist, they will have to follow suit to stick with us economically. If Europe wants to continue surviving, they will have to ramp up their energy. They will have to snap to with equal economic equal economic orientation. They can't just continue kneecapping themselves while we're over here, like pigs at the trough. So Trump is basically telling these guys, look, this is where we're going. You're going there whether you like it or not. I'm going to drag you kicking and screaming. You're going whether you like it or not, And it seems to me like all these countries are like, okay, yes, sir. And, I remember 2016, and it was great, but it didn't have the gravity of this inauguration. Didn't have that gravity. The gravity that this inauguration had, you had dignitaries, you had tech giants, Tim Cook, Elon. I mean, you had huge. Anybody who was everybody who was anybody was at that inauguration. That's how. That is how you know the weight of the moment is by the people that are there. I mean, really and truly. You know, the people that show up. That when they all showed up to pay homage because they know how big of a deal this is. You know, and for those of you that are in your 20s, pay attention, my friends, because this you will never see again in your life. I've lived half my life, and all we've gotten is stuffed shirts. This is the first time we've had a live wire president in my lifetime, somebody that had that was willing to wield the bullwhip and speak on our behalf as Americans, you know, and speak on our country's behalf. And the way he's just moving these immigrants out, I mean, he's not joking around, and I'm here for it. I'm totally here for it. It's nice to see. So I mean, and the way he dealt with those politicians in L.A., it was chef's kiss. I mean, it was amazing. He's just those 4 years really did something, and that assassination attempt and whatever really did something. And he is going at it like a dog with a bone. And you know, I think everybody is behind him, more or less. That's the way I felt that. You know, I felt what everybody's talking. It's a new day. It's a new day. You know, it's the beginning of a golden era, and it's like we've wanted to hear that for so long. We've wanted to hear, yes, we're going to turn on the economic spigots, and everybody's going to get to dip their biscuits in the gravy. Everybody, we're going to let that gravy pour. You know, because this country, you know, can really pump it out. And for everybody across the world, you know, everybody's going to get to dip their gravy or dip their biscuit in the gravy. And because, you know, all the other Western countries are going to do well. Even countries, you know, that aren't necessarily allies are going to do better, I think. And, you know, the way that the way he put it, it was like music to my ears. And I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. Like, oh my God, yes. Yes, because we've heard the stories about what America could do in World War II. That's what I want to compare this to. It's like Franklin Roosevelt, when he went to Henry Ford and these, you know, the steel magnates and all these, you know, these big time, they were his arch enemies, these big time capitalists, moguls. And he was enemies, but he go, you know, look, I want you to build me B-17 bombers, pump them out. Okay, I can give you one an hour. You know, and he just gave them a job to do, go to it. You know, and they lit the furnaces of capitalism, and out of the sludge of the Great Depression, we crawled. And I feel like Trump, you know, he's got the balls, the cojones, and the inclination and the will to do it. He knows what the country's capable of doing. You know, it's not just opening the spigots. You have to rouse the people too. You know, there has to be a rousing speech, and he gave it. He gave it. I mean, it's so hard not to feel proud again of America. You know, it reminds me of this is the first time I've ever felt this, except for maybe Obama. After Obama was elected, people were pretty excited. I wasn't. I mean, I really didn't care. I was 18. Didn't give a damn. But you know, this is really the first time that I've seen people this kind of excited and in my life, but especially happy about the country since 9/11. I mean, that was crazy how people were after 9/11, but the way people are now, there is a sense of, okay, finally we're going to get back to kicking ass and taking names, like you know, like not even like the Ronald Reagan days. I'm talking like the World War II days. You know, like we're fixing to step in and and trade some blows, and I'm so psyched about it, and I'm so happy to see somebody looking out for us and somebody willing to call people on their bull crap. You know, the common sense thing. It's legit, and some of these politicians, they're so whacked out. When he talks, they just look like morons. I mean, it's just like, dude, have you I mean, are you on the same planet? You know, can you even claim to be on the same planet as us right now? Like, it just blows my mind, some of them. That Karen Bass, whoa. Whew, my goodness, you know. And anyway, I just had to, man. It's all come at me so fast, and I wanted to break it down more, but it's come at me so fast, and I just wanted to express my delight and my optimism for the future. I really do think, you know, I think this is the biggest opportunity of greatness that I'll ever see in my lifetime. You know, it may not work, and if it doesn't, oh well. But you know, I think it will. I think he knows. You know, he knows what he's doing. He's worked these levers before. And he's gotten a game plan together. He come out the gates flying, pew, like he said, pew. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen a politician who was this ready and willing and able to use the levers of power, to wield that whip hand, just to, man, carry a big stick. And I mean, it's spectacular, you know. And I mean, buckle up, you know. That's the way I look at it. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to enjoy. But until next time, guys, y'all take it easy. I hope y'all are as pleased as I am anyway. Anyway, over and out.